Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So when it rains, it pours. There looks like there is another attack on our food supply chain, and this time is actually a cyber attack. When I came back from France the other day, I did my catching up on the news, but somehow I missed all that shenanigans. And some of you actually emailed and said, look, maybe a good idea to have a look at this and actually cover this in the video, because so that looks that there's not really been publicized that well. So what happened? Actually, pretty much about a week ago, believe this or not, on the 21st of November, there was a cyber attack in a company in America, okay? The company called the Blue Yonder, okay? And they're dealing with the supply chain, they're supply chain specialists, okay? So they're dealing with supply chain. So they're supplying supermarkets and other places like Starbucks with, well, food. So on the 21st, there was a cyber attack. And so it happens now, there is actually massive shortages in many supermarkets. And it affected apparently quite a few supermarkets. They mentioned like Morrisons, Sainsbury's, and Tesco's, pretty much majority of them. However, not all supermarkets so far are experiencing shortages. However, there are quite few that actually are. And after just doing some digging, Morrisons seems to be one of the worst ones affected. And of course, guys, we're talking about this is a week ago, okay? And this has started gradually, and so far they have not found a resolution. But as people do, apparently people are now getting really angry with Morrisons. They go into the X and they're sharing their frustrations about literally lack of fruits and vegetables. For some reason, this has actually just attacked or affected fresh fruit and vegetables. I'm like, it's very interesting because the frozen foods are not affected, anything else is not affected, but fresh fruit and vegetables. Nonetheless, okay, the moral of the story, you read this and you see people showing the pictures of literally empty shelves, like anything you have, bananas, whatever the fruits are, everything is totally empty and people getting angry. And again, just makes you laugh a little bit, right? It's no point. What is the point, right? To go on the the X, and then just, air your frustration that is not fruit and vegetables coming in the country. Well, cyber attack happens, things happen. But it's the point to this, right? This has only been a week, okay? And people are getting angry. My point is to you guys, for people especially who are thinking, well, preparedness is not, what sort of food shortages we're talking about. There's no food shortages, this and that. Nothing's going to be happening. Okay. So far, there's not a huge amount of food shortages due to the normal means of projected means of literally being short of food or, farmers not supplying this, although there are some in many supermarkets. But this is now a perfect example. Week has gone past and people are angry because they can't get their bananas or carrots or potatoes, okay? It doesn't have to be a SHTF scenario of a global scale, okay, for people to start to get frustrated and angry. They're just carrots and some veg, and yet people are angry. So if you think about what potentially could happen in the bigger SHTF scenario, you can imagine what's going to be happening to the people once they understand that the specific SHTF scenario could be lasting for longer than a week. And this is again my point. I always said the point of the preparedness, okay? Whatever you think might happen or not, something else will happen. We have experienced the cyber attack on the food supply chain, I think pretty much about last year when we had some shortages as well. We had some cyber attacks on the ships, okay? So when the ships got stuck, so nothing could be delivered at all. It happens all the time. And yet there's people there, they still don't believe that things will be happening. As soon as, to be fair, when I spoke to Mark, when we talked about obviously the farmers and things, meant to be in the short supply because farmers are stopping the supply of vegetables, which I already seen in my supermarkets. First thing I did when I had a glimpse of that, I just popped into the Tesco's and bought myself, I bought myself a couple bags of carrots and a couple bags of parsnips, because put them in the fridge and they're happily to sit there for a couple of weeks, if not longer. To be fair, generally they'll probably sit there until Christmas without any issues. So my point being that to people that are thinking, well, things are not happening, I'm not preparing, it's all a lot of, BS. This is a perfect example, okay? It's been a week so far, all right? And they have not found the answer to the issue. As I said, guys, it is affected many different companies, not just our supermarkets. But what is going to be happening, again, the people that are now can get certain things in the local supermarkets, if they're able to, people will be obviously going in the supermarkets nearby and trying to get some fruit and veg to put away in the fridge. Again, as in terms of who done that, it's not been publicized as yet. and they said they haven't found the culprit because they haven't actually solved the problem, so they haven't actually fixed the attack. So there will be people there, they'll be thinking, it's going to be, the specific Mr. Somebody who's going to be attacking food supply chain. And, we all have our own opinions. I frankly think that this guy's got far bigger things to do right now than to do a cyber attacks on the food supply chain. So to me, being, not say speculating really, but I believe it's more of a little bit of a within, and again, probably deliberate. Because again, when we covered few of the videos, guys, we're all talking about the fruit and veg. It's been a big issue for many months now, when we've been warned and things been happening with the weather, that we're having the shortages due to the nature events, the shortages due to, say, the farming not supplying fruit and veg. There's now issue with the cyber attacks, that there's a limit on there's no fruit and veg coming into certain supermarkets. You can see where I'm going with that. So yes, I found that, to be fair, it's rather interesting. I'm not really worried about it at the moment, but I just wanted to point out and obviously bring this video because some of you suggested just get this out there, okay? An idea now of this channel, to be fair, guys, we're prepared in this channel, but part of it is as well is actually to spread the understanding and the knowledge of what is actually going on at the same time, so you guys can prep. And of course, my channel here to get you on your prepping journey, because again, we're not just preparing for the massive SHTF scenario. To somebody not be able to get fruit and veg for 2 or 3 weeks is pretty much a small SHTF, so we kind of need to be ready for that. But the point is as well, guys, to bring this out to you, so yes, you are aware, and at the same time to point out the volatility of our food supply chain. I want to just get for people that still, because there are people still there, and I know because the people still message me thinking, well, it is not a big deal and it's not going to happen, and we're going to have plenty of veg, we're going to import them, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Hey, it's not a big deal. Well, perfect point, okay? It is a big deal because people now angry just of the week of not having them, and this is just in a small selected area or few areas. In fact, it's not even yet a nationwide. But just imagine, okay, if all this anger and frustration of people going there to supermarkets, everybody's screaming at the stuff because they can't get the food, can't get the vegetables, can't get the bananas because they can't get potatoes to cook their roast dinner. You can imagine the state of people, and generally, as not say civilization, but as a community, the spirit is quickly gonna fall, and it's gonna fall fast. So nonetheless, guys, that's that. Just wanted to make people aware that little things will happen and it will continue happening. If you remember, I did a video about 6 months ago or so, when the government brought in the resilience program, and actually the cyber attacks was one of the big things there. It was on the top 5 of the national security threat to the UK. As we can see, they're happening, but for some reason, unfortunately, they just not get publicized that often. So I'll do my best with a lot of your help, who finding information sometimes before I do. We'll do our best to put this out for you people to be actually aware what is happening, and this way we guys can be prepared as best as we can. So anyway, well, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, please. It does mean a lot and it helps the channel grow. It means, well, we can help more people. And don't forget thumbs up as well, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.